It is. It almost has like a jet.
I swear, didn't I see that?
Woo!
Super Indy!
You're gonna have to work this. He's got a very, very special person that I gotta meet.
I love you.
Well, thanks.
Every time I hate it.
Figure it out. We just kind of haven't watched some parts because I've been doing this. But man, it was a bloody mess. It was an awesome fight. They just threw it down to the end. Yeah, it clearly looks like he won.
3 chances out of $5 and arm's length for 10. That's right there. See, you can win this stuff. This wonderful.
Colin's been all over the world, especially Chicago, New York, Ireland, England, and he was working every week somehow.
Gosh, I've been like 80s.
No problem.
Hi, Mr. Cameraman, just staring at me. I see. I didn't know who was if you, then they like Krimson.
Here in Meadville High School, we have these trading cards here from WWF WCW, brand new DVDs. We got the Prime Cut series, Sheamus Lion, Gregory Iron, Gargano, Cross, Jacobs, Finding Zach Gow, and the life story of the most inspirational star in wrestling. We got Resolutions, we got out-of-print DVDs, we got vintage magazines from 1982 to present day. We have a Ray Rougeau autograph from 1994. We got signed Paul London cards. We got a John Cena lunchbox. We got Captain Lou Albano. We got Captain Lou Albano. We got the Shiki baby. The Scott Hall vibrates. You gotta come tonight as Superstars and get the deals.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor at this time to introduce you our guest of honor, WWE Hall of Famer, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair!
16 times the World Heavyweight Champion, the only 2-time WWE Hall of Famer in existence, in history. He has said for years, to be the man, you have to beat the man. For longer than anyone before him or since, this man quite simply has been the man. As we welcome you to Meadville, Pennsylvania, to IWC Night of Superstars 4 here in 2015. I am Joe Dombrowski at ringside. I'll have a lot of guests with me throughout the night as we progress. But starting it out with the guest of honor, the namesake of the Ric Flair Invitational Battle Royal.
Everybody knows how much I've enjoyed my career, and I certainly have had a wonderful time over the years in the state of Pennsylvania. Good Lord, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. I never got married there, but I might as well have a couple times. You know, I used to really like to go out, and there's a lot of young kids here tonight, so I won't use the appropriate language, but I used to be really easy to make people from Pennsylvania mad. I could talk about the Steelers. I could talk about the Pittsburgh Panthers. Or I could bring up the Penguins.
Oh, not with Mark Madden here.
I'm not like that anymore. I'll take it easy on y'all tonight. Thank you for having me here. Meadsville Middle School. Scott, the principal over there. These are wonderful people. And I don't do a lot of these shows because sometimes the promotions don't bring a lot of credibility to what I used to do for a living. In this case, Justin and his company are doing a great job, and they've got a bunch of great kids back there that are going to give you guys a hell of a show tonight. So I want you to give them all the respect they deserve. They're all young guys. They're all trying to find their way to the WWE, wherever else they want to go. But it all starts here. It starts with your support, and it starts with you encouraging them because they work hard. God only knows this is a tough-ass business, and it's insensitive, and nobody gives a damn, except you guys and the kids that are trying so hard to get in. So give me your support tonight, man. IWC. Now I'll just have some fun. Where's that dark-haired chick back there in the white dress? If you had called my agent and wanted me to come here, I'd have come for nothing. So they had the wrong person negotiate the deal, all right? Next time you want the Nate to come back to Meadsville, you call, all right? I'll give you a number and a card and a room key on the way out of here, baby. Woo-hoo! You got it, brother, you know. Where is my buddy Mark Madness? Mark here? Where's Mark? Don't boo Mark Madden, man. Where is he at?
Broadcast colleague of mine.
I don't see him. Well, anyway, I got some really good friends on the card tonight. Kevin Nash, who's in the Hall of Fame, long overdue. And I think the world of Tommy Dreamer, man. He's a wonderful guy, too. So you guys have a great time tonight. Nate is out of here. I'm going to Myrtle Beach tomorrow, and I'll be with the only good football player that ever came from Pittsburgh, Dan Marino, okay? So we won't be wrestling, and we won't be playing golf. We'll be... Woo! God bless you guys. And you can give me your card, too, on the way out, okay? Woo-woo! Thanks, guys. Have a good show. Have a good time. Woo!
Nate, your boy Ric Flair in rare form, addressing his people. The industry that Ric Flair helped build and shape, thriving here tonight in the International Wrestling Cartel as we prepare to begin in-ring action with Ric Flair's namesake.
Stop talking now! Mike, do not touch me, ever.
VIP Joe Rosa with the faces of change.
Ric Flair was supposed to look me in the eye tonight like a man. I've been challenging him for months to go one-on-one with me, VIP. And he decided that he's too good, and he didn't want to. And you know what? Fine. I don't need it. I'm a big enough star without Ric Flair. Because as much as he's the Nature Boy, as much as he's styling and profiling, he will never be me again. VIP.
I think Flair is too good for Joe Rosa. No argument here. Rosa with Darren De Niro.
As I
Roger
say,
Corpo.
elimination occurs when you are thrown over the top rope and both feet touch the floor.
already have making their way down to the ringside area the first combatants, Justin Idol, Darren De Niro, Roger Corpa, and VIP Joe Rosa.
Idol, the former founding father, turned his back on his friends, Gregory Vegas and the returning Super Hento.
Together, they are collectively known as the Faces of Change.
4 men out of 23 in this group, odds-on favorite.
Participants.
It could come down to the factions. We have a few different groups involved. The time for some young talent to get noticed.
Omega, Aaron Draven.
Former main eventer here in this building.
Benjamin Boone, Bronco McBride, Hayden Vera, Jay Bush, Alex Daniels. Representing the STDs, Chris Flexer, Corey Futuristic, and Lee Ryans.
Warchild, named a Cyber.
Danny Abel, Jovico, the world's most huggable wrestler, Ryan Kessel, Space Monkey,
Space Monkey.
Channing Decker,
Space Monkey.
Reynolds,
Space Monkey.
Wardlow.
Oh, Wardlow's a big guy. Rocky Reynolds, Meadville Hero. There's Big Wardlow, 250-plus pounder. And check out this ovation. Titusville native, right nearby Meadville, Rocky Reynolds. Seen him in a number of big-time matchups here in this annual Night of Superstars. No surprise, these men with their own entrance. Ric Flair has built and shaped this industry, but these men have built and shaped this organization. Dennis Gregory on the left, Jimmy Vegas the right. Jimmy Vegas is the tag team championship partner of Joe Rosa. They won those titles thanks to the infamous reset button at IWC Reloaded, our first show of 2015. And as a result, Vegas and Rosa in a tough spot. They want to be champions. However, they don't like each other. Can't stand one another. Haven't been able to since day one. Two founding fathers, 4 faces of change. And yes, 3 STDs. A lot of young talent could get a golden opportunity. Perhaps the most famous Battle Royal style matchup ever. The 1992 Royal Rumble. Ric Flair lasted 62 minutes to win the World Wrestling Federation Championship. Outlast 29 other men. Flair, an expert of endurance, and it could take endurance to be the last man standing on this exchange. And Gregory jump-starting things, and here we go! Such a dangerous match. That's Channing Decker out of Canada, and there goes Channing Decker back to Canada. Ashley Six trainee out of there. There you see Jay Flash slugging it out with Space Monkey. Big Bronco McBride, frequent tag partner of Jock Sampson in there. Brian Castle, the new tag partner of Jock Sampson in there. Jock Sampson, however, not in there. Go figure. Benjamin Boone making, I believe, his IWC debut. Remy LeVay formerly went out for the Night Riders. Omega Aaron Draven teamed with Carlito in the main event here one year. And his trainer, Rocky Reynolds, as Lee Ryan's out, and so are Gary and Larry as sideburns. Draven hanging on. Great agility. Draven, high-flying cruiserweight, teamed with Kevin Nash one year in Cleveland. He's got a history behind him. Could he add Ric Flair to his resume? Alex Daniels, the newcomer, working on Draven, colorful young athlete, parkour master. Brian Castle, 350-pounder, double-teamed. Thanks, Pedro. There goes Castle. So many arms and legs, you can get blindsided in a hurry. One of the most dangerous matches in wrestling because there's no way to keep watching all sides. On a space monkey! Oh, no more monkeying around. Oh, this battle royal was more fun than a barrel of monkeys, but not anymore. Oh! Very futuristic, never has a good night here up in Meadville. Beat up by Vader one year. Beat up by somebody every year, really. Same with Flexor. Castle's got the monkey! Castle's got the monkey! And he's got a space helmet. He's in a Trumpet Traveler. He hangs out with Paul London. Youngster Danny Abel is out of there. Remy LeVay as well. Omega Aaron Draven trying to eliminate his trainer, Rocky Reynolds. No friends in the Battle Royal. And check out the right-hand side of the screen. Faces a change. They're staking out some real estate. They're protecting each other. There's Dravico. He's got to turn up the volume. Turn down for what, I say? Being pummeled by Darren Gennaro. The blue chipper of the Faces of Change. With some discrepancies in the Faces of Change locker room in recent times. Oh, Dravico! Dravico got dropped. Boone gets low-bridged. Jay Flash has a history with Ben Boone. They reprised it here. Jay Flash, all his Flash addicts here to support, but not enough. Energetic youngster, bright future for Flash, but won't be tonight. Dravico. Is he okay? Jumping. No. Tried to jump back in, but couldn't. Back to the cornfield. Aaron Draven. Man, big Wardlow, big Jimmy Vegas, Faces of Change. All involved here. Rocky Reynolds. Certainly the hometown favorite, Alex Daniels, who has a bright future for sure. Great to see these youngsters have this opportunity. Guys like Bronco, guys like Remy, guys like Flash, Dravico certainly as well. Came all the way from the Drago Rainforest to come here. Space Monkey coming from orbit. There goes, was that Dennis Gregory? That's a huge elimination. 5-time IWC champion. He's out of there, and he's hurt. History of neck injuries for Gregory. We'll hope he's okay. And right now we have 4 Faces of Change, and I'm not sure if we have any more than that of everybody else combined. Oh, Rocky gone. And it's now FOC 4, the lot of them 3. Daniels, Wardlow, and Vegas, I believe, and Rosa directing traffic based on the punishment of Vegas, which, by the way, is Rosa's tag partner. And it's Daniels with a series of forearm shots. De Niro drill. Can imagine what these 3 men, Daniels, Wardlow, and Vegas, they have nothing in common other than an individual desire to win. Has it even sunk in what the odds are? Here's Daniels. Loves to go high risk. Good grief. was that, a 720 maybe? 630? Well, all that mattered was that 360 to the floor. And again, the faces of change have completely overtaken this Ric Flair Invitational Battle Royal. It's Justin Idol, that Benedict Arnold, helping out Rosa. 4-on-2 as Wardlow and Vegas are being punished. We've seen recently how Battle Royals can favor bigger men across this industry. Wardlow just tossed Idol, making Idol second guess some of his recent choices. Well, pile driver. Banned in Memphis, legal in Meadville. And Rosa may get his wish of standing tall and a metaphoric slap in the face to the nature boy Ric Flair. Vegas peppering De Niro, Corpo. This is Corpo's return to the ring after a serious ankle injury he suffered in a brawl with the Founding Fathers last fall. He'll be lucky if he escapes this match unscathed. You've seen a lot of awkward spills thus far. But even still, three faces of change, even as Vegas explodes out of the corner. This Shane Douglas like belly to belly. And Corpo out of there. And it's down to 2-on-2, although the two that aren't in cahoots are the current tag champions. That's them on your screen. Vegas trying to toss Rosa. He can hurt his partner without doing any damage to the tag team titles. And De Niro, whoa! De Niro tossed out both. But did De Niro mean to eliminate Rosa? Rosa's in shock. I think he realized what happened. That's Wardlow. Wardlow tossed out De Niro. The big man, 6'4", 250-plus pound Wardlow, proves that sometimes bigger is better in the Battle Royal. This kid only been on the scene in IWC for some 5 months, as you see Rosa and De Niro having a major miscommunication on the outside. This is not the first they've had. It may or may not be the last. Not the way Rosa planned for Meadville to go, as he looks up at what, for this match in particular, is the man. Wardlow, the natural athlete, the powerhouse, is victorious in the Ric Flair Invitational Battle Royal.
Introducing first, being escorted to ringside by the Miley Cyrus of professional wrestling, Ray Lynn.
She dropped her wiener.
Representing the hashtag Platinum Blonde World Tour, he weighs in at 207 pounds. Wrestling out of Indianapolis, Indiana, he is the Justin Bieber of professional wrestling, Dylan Bostic.
Dylan Bostic likes to call himself Swaggy D, says he's close friends with Justin Bieber and all of his family members. Bostic, somewhat of a viral hit. He has over 208,000 followers on Twitter, and he's escorted by the Miley Cyrus of professional wrestling. That is Ms. Ray Lynn. Eskimo kisses, how cute. And there you see a series of unappetizing looking hot dogs, because Dylan Bostic has referred to Keith Haught as, quote, Keith the hot dog eater. How clever, LOL. Bostic, a big-time success in Ohio Valley Wrestling, former developmental territory, held the OVW Southern Tag Team Championships. Beating a lot of top stars in his day. Southern champion as well. Beat my boy Rockstar Spud once. And speaking of unlikely stories, former IWC Tag Champion. The Bearcat, the man behind the hot mess. Keith Haught scored a major victory over Dylan Bostic at Reloaded, but Bostic immediately was quick to claim that that loss was a fluke. That's heavily debatable, but Bostic looking to prove something to himself, perhaps these fans as well. Huge capacity crowd all the way around this gymnasium. Keith Haught got the pinfall victory in a big-time 8-man tag team matchup a year ago at our third installment of Night of Superstars 3. That's on DVD and digital right now, courtesy of our friends at Sorgatron Media and at IndyWrestling.us. And now we're going to have a hot dog battle. Nobody yell food fight. That cafeteria was busy enough. And Keith Haught, who has been insulted and ridiculed by Mr. Bostic. Bostic likes to ask who sucks now. He's getting a preemptive answer. We'll see how much swag Mr. Bostic has. Told you. Keith Haught with a big win over Wildchild Lee Ryans in Clearfield. He's on a bit of a roll, undefeated this year. Keith has done a great job bouncing back ever since being betrayed by his former tag partner, Colin Delaney. Colin blamed Keith Haught for all the team's shortcomings, which I don't agree with. But it's lit a fire under both Colin and Keith Haught, so it looks like the split was better for both of them. We'll see Colin a little bit later on tonight. Pace quickens and Bostic gets barreled over. Now Bostic turning the tide. Out quickening Keith, but got barreled over again. Bostic may fashion himself the best looking on the roster. I don't think anyone will confuse him with the smartest. Although a straight shot upside the face of Keith Haught. Certainly insult to injury on that exchange. And Bostic up and over with a back body drop. And Haught, he's going for those hot dogs. I'm not sure if Ray Lynn's tasted a hot dog in her life. Bostic from way up high. And again, continuing to taunt the man they refer to as Keith, quote, the hot dog eater. And it's all Dylan Bostic at the moment, down for the cover. Only finds a count of 1. Bostic, as I mentioned, holds victories over the likes of Rockstar Spud, Rob Terry, Samuel Shaw, all the developmental talents that came through OVW as part of TNA Impact Wrestling. Bostic has appeared on WWE television as well. Snapmare. And it's all Bostic at the moment. Bostic's still in his early 20s. Has had great success already, not at the moment. Rolled up, 2-0. Keith Haught looking to go 2-0 against the man who calls himself Swaggy D. Bostic, the Justin Bieber of professional wrestling, has gotten roasted thus far in this match. But Bostic Takes Haught down with an elbow, but again, trouble keeping the larger frame of Keith Haught down. Bostic stretching away. Haught in big time trouble. And Keith able to rebound. Bostic off the mark a second time. And one of the most unlikely IWC success stories begins to go to work once again. And Bostic looking for some salvation. He's got nowhere to run. Senton, nobody home. Bostic a step ahead. Jeez. That was pinpoint precision. That was very well done. And back to the hot dogs. Bostic, you know, he finds himself so good looking. He looks down on anybody that doesn't have that perfect body. And that's going to mess up the facial features. Hot dog to the face, kick upside the head. Bostic's vanity coming back to haunt him. Cost him the match. No. Near fall for Keith Haught. You'd love to see Haught pull this off against Bostic one more time for the commoner, for the everyman, for the guy that just wants to live his dreams. And Keith, he's got some hot news from Meadville as he's signaling for the hot mess. Bostic was ready. A big-time collision. Haught sends Bostic flying. A high risk. Haught on the upper hand. Bostic back in position. Oh, it's the hot mess. Where there's Waylon. The alleged Miley Cyrus of pro wrestling. Getting involved where she's not needed. Uh-oh. Attaboy. Keith Haught got the spoils, but Swaggy D leads to the victory. Dylan Bostic avenges the loss in his IWC debut back at Reloaded. Bostic with some great news to spread to his 208,000+ Twitter followers. Justin Bieber of wrestling, Miley Cyrus of wrestling. Leave accomplished, and I guess in their mind, yeah, proving their point about Keith Haught and the hot dogs, how disparaging. Bostic thinks he's better than the lot of Meadville and Keith Haught. Haught proved that otherwise a couple of months ago, but tonight, the distraction of Ray Lynn, that leads to the victory for Swaggy D Dylan Bostic. A three-way match to crown a new #1 contender to the IWC Championship. That champion is the innovator of violence, the man behind the House of Hardcore, Tommy Dreamer. This is the man he defeated. RJ City used legal threats to get his way into a championship match with Dalton Castle back at IWC Reloaded. At the start of the night, we didn't expect that to happen, but RJ didn't expect the ending, the stipulation. Everybody had to go through the reset button, and RJ's landed on Tommy Dreamer.
my tubby little friend. But that's not how you say my name. See, I know there's always big superstars at Night of the Superstars. And last year, who was here? Oh, that's right. Bret the Hitman Hart was here. And I remember each and every one of you came directly to me and said, hey, we didn't come here to see Bret Hart. We came here to listen to you sing. RJ, would you please give us a few numbers? I know you've been waiting all year for this one. And after I lay waste to both my opponents and become the new #1 contender, I will get back in this ring and I will sing a song for all of you.
Please don't.
You want to know why? Because I've got to be me. I've got to be me. Willing to try to do it or die. I've got to be the man who put the entertainment back in sports entertainment. RJ City!
At least he didn't quote Ethel Merman this time. All three of these men lay claim to a title shot. Colin Delaney actually holds a victory over Tommy Dreamer an hour before Dreamer won the IWC Championship. Colin really exercised a lot of inner demons with that particular matchup, but now he feels he's rightfully #1 contender, and really it's hard to disagree with him. But, as we mentioned, it's hard to disagree with anybody in this equation while we're having the match. But ever since abandoning Keith Haught, Colin Delaney has been in rare form. I gotta give him that. All the manservants are here. Carino's new favorite wrestler. The party peacock Dalton Castle reigned as IWC champion for over a calendar year, the second longest reign in company history. Lost that title to RJ City thanks to that legal injunction, those threats. Dalton has yet to get a rematch, and that's certainly why he could lay claim to being #1 contender. But what an extra bit of pizzazz, of sizzle to the steak, of Dalton Castle we have seen over the past couple of weeks on Ring of Honor television. And it's bled through here to IWC, certainly. The pageantry, the aura, the mystique of Dalton Castle. And certainly we can't forget about Justin LeVar on the outside as well. Caused more than his share of problems. I'm trying to talk over whatever Dalton's doing right now. But this is so important for all three of these athletes. Hard to bet against anybody.
Ready?
Thanks, yeah.
I'm now being joined by a very special guest, someone I've seen a lot lately. Don't have the mic too close to you, though. We are talking to reborn Matt Sydal, who's set for a big matchup with DJZ later tonight. Matt, welcome to commentary.
Thank you.
And certainly we're checking out a three-way matchup with Dalton Castle, Colin Delaney, RJ City. Winner will be number one contender to Tommy Dreamer. And certainly a number of these talents you've seen a lot over your travels. RJ City kind of sitting back hanging out, but I know you know Colin and now lately Dalton very well.
Yes, RJ City with the excellent hydration technique I noticed in the corner. But I have recently become a huge fan of Dalton Castle's work. I saw him in Ring of Honor, really impressed me. Absolutely took some of the guys in the House of Truth to the limit. And of course, Colin Delaney's a peer from my ECW days, and he has quite the history with Tommy Dreamer, so there's a lot of repercussions in this match possible.
That's ECW in quotations for those of you at home.
Yes, quotations ECW.
Side headlock on Dalton. Are you going to get some manservants like Dalton Castle? You ever thought about manservants?
You know what? Ring of Honor actually originally hired me to be one of his manservants, and then they found out I had this beard now, and they figured they'd just give me a chance to be myself. But
might be a solid spot for your brother.
Yeah, he could certainly do it.
There's a cover. He's flexible. He can do like the human chair deal, you know. But who's your odds-on favorite? You've seen Dalton. Dalton's very athletic, but great size as well. He really packs the perfect punch.
Well, you know, I would say Dalton Castle's my favorite, but I'll be honest, he's been using up a lot of energy. RJ City hasn't moved him in, so, I mean, if this match goes long, he's the favorite.
And RJ City has that pest at ringside, Justin LaBar, the would-be journalist, Mr. Chairshot Reality. And RJ got hit right in the Tony Clifton. And Colin much the same. Dalton Castle certainly motivated by the desire to get back that IWC title he held for 13 months. Matt, you know what it's like to be defeated or lose a championship and not get that return match, certainly as a performer that eats away at you.
Oh, it's so frustrating because the only way to remove the mark of a loss the night before is to go back and take a win the next night. But if it's not for that championship that you just lost, it doesn't feel the same. You're still chasing after the pursuit of being the best. And you're not going to rest until you get that championship back. And I can see it in Dalton Castle's eyes. He wants it. Out of the three guys in this match, he wants it the most.
Dalton Castle recently taking Jay Lethal to his limit on Ring of Honor television championship match. Lethal recently surpassing one whole year as television champion, so that shows you how at the top of his game Lethal has been, but Dalton certainly took him to his limit.
Absolutely epic episode of ROH TV, one of my favorites.
Colin Delaney, when you were in the same area as him, same promotion, Colin was still very young, very early 20s, still coming into his own, still being mentored by Tommy Dreamer. How do you feel about the fact that Colin, as later said, he had turned on Dreamer back in WWE because he, quote, didn't want to end up a loser like Tommy is?
Well, what I'll tell you what is I'm impressed with the way Colin Delaney's been looking tonight. He's really got it together. You know, I never doubted that he would grow between now and his WWE time, and it's obvious that he's done that on multiple levels. His personal issues with Tommy notwithstanding, I mean, that's a matchup I'd really look forward to. Oh, wow.
Colin beat Tommy Dreamer Extreme Rules this past January at Reloaded. Feels that automatically earns him a number one contender shot, but as we mentioned, RJ, who won the title via contractual loophole, threatened to sue the company, RJ did, if he didn't get a match with Dalton Castle. So he snuck his way in. But the stipulation of the night, everybody, it was a random drawing, it was the reset button. RJ won the title, that made him eligible for the reset button. Tommy Dreamer was selected at random, and that's how Tommy Dreamer ended the night as IWC champion.
Wow.
So all three men have a case here. Dalton and RJ have not received rematches, and Colin pinned the champion an hour before he won the title. Aren't you happy I'm here to catch you up, Matt?
Yeah, we are, yeah. And let me catch you up. We're in high-risk territory, and this is my specialty. We got two guys here climbing that top rope.
You're right at home there.
Well.
And Dalton dropped down, and you can see the reverberation off that rope. And certainly you know all too well how tight those ropes are and the effect just running into the ropes, let alone snapping your body off of them, can do.
It's a double-edged sword because I need them for my offense, but when I end up landing on them, boy, oh boy, is it painful. Most people, even just training to wrestle, end up with lines directly across their back of bruises where the ropes are. Even bouncing off the ropes hurts, let alone when you get your throat knocked across them.
I'm certainly looking forward to later tonight when Air Sydal looks to silence the air horn of DJZ.
God, I already have a headache just thinking about that.
I bet DJZ even gives himself migraines. But be that as it may.
He deserves each and every single one of them.
Just for the haircut, really.
I'm cool with the hairstyle, man. It's the sound. I don't like getting my ears beaten. I take it personally. It's personally offensive to me when people invade my ear space, my sound space. I don't like getting my ears beaten. I'd rather have some guy slap me around than be so loud and obnoxious. It's not a good quality.
I think I just inadvertently gave DJZ an even worse beating later tonight than he's in for.
Yes.
But great agility by Dalton Castle, that flexibility, and LeBar thinking better of it. It's springtime. The guy's still wearing the leather jacket. Come on. Oh, jeez.
Dalton Castle's mistake was he stopped strutting and tried running. Should never, ever run when you can strut like he can strut.
So if he was strutting, he would have been able to put the brakes on.
Did you notice he was strutting around, and then as soon as he changed to run, he sped up, wham, taken out, got his head taken off.
Here we go.
Should have just been strutting, no problems.
Well, RJ City now takes control. High stakes here. Do you have a thought, Matt, on which of these three would have a better shot against Tommy Dreamer in a one-on-one title environment?
I don't think anybody will ever have an advantage against Tommy Dreamer in a one-on-one matchup. Tommy Dreamer's been through the ringer with everybody. He's faced the best of the best. He's been everywhere. There's nothing he's afraid of. There's the damage he's put his body through for the fans is unparalleled. So what these guys would have to do is take Dreamer to a limit, to a place he's never been before, and I wish them good luck with that.
And that's assuming that Dreamer can survive Extreme Rules with the Man-Beast Rhino, which is actually scheduled to be up next, I do believe. Action-packed night. Of course, Kevin Nash still here, part of a big six-man tag.
I will let you in on a little locker room inside information. But Tommy Dreamer and Rhino have been at each other's throats, let's just say. At each other's throats.
I see.
It's not pretty in this locker room. There's a little bit of extra tension, so it'll be interesting to see how that championship match plays out.
Perhaps there's a lot of bad blood there. Of course, Rhino, the last ever ECW world champion, ECW not in quotations, and Tommy Dreamer really thought of as the lifeblood and conscience of the original ECW.
It's exactly the beef, man. It's those three letters, ECW.
And Colin springs in.
Colin really has impressed me tonight.
Colin calls himself ECW, the extremely cute wrestler.
I couldn't agree with that statement more either.
Okay, well, you're very friendly right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
RJ.
Colin Delaney came up with Airborne.
Did he? Is that royalty check in the mail?
Yes, it's in the mail.
Okay, gotcha.
It's been that way for a while. Oh.
Well, Colin hasn't come up with a lot of ideas that didn't benefit himself lately, and you see that miscue. Dalton, I'm not sure if he intentionally caused that rift or not, but the egos of RJ and Colin causing this very a makeshift alliance to implode.
The friendship never lasts through the whole match. Don't.
There you go.
Vile.
RJ City promised to serenade the entire city of Meadville after a victory in this match. Easier said than done. This is one fall of a finish. Colin Delaney in with a sunset flip, but Dalton Castle. If my Elizabeth broadcast colleague were here, he would be mentioning that connected right in the mommy-daddy button. If Steve Carino was here, he would say ding-ding. Matt Sydal, thankfully, staying quiet.
Higher ground, my friends. There it is. Wow.
Great takeover by Dalton, who does have an amateur background as well. Natural athlete all his life. Colin dropped onto RJ. He's got them both pinned. 4 shoulders down. What an emphatic statement that would be. Dalton doesn't have to beat both men, but he almost did.
Uh-oh. I see some chicanery possibly in the corner.
Well, RJ looking for refuge. Dalton with an ankle lock.
I definitely see a lot of Ken Shamrock in that ankle lock.
That would make Colin Steve Blackman. And that good night,
Classic
everybody.
Lions Den match-esque.
RJ with that sleeper, he calls it good night, everybody. Now he's got, well, a half a sleeper on each side. There's a double back suplex. You can't put a sleeper on both guys.
You need two hands for that. What kind of rookie mistake is that?
You gotta focus, as Gorilla Monsoon would say, where the ramus of the mandible articulates with the mandibular fossa of the temporal bone.
Precisely.
And Dalton Castle Peacock gonna fly! Nobody home. Now Colin taking a risk. Nobody's near him. Colin waiting for somebody unknowingly. That didn't work. Colin didn't think that one out. And now RJ, just like he enjoys all the spotlight on him. Ethel Merman's favorite wrestler puts the brakes on. But Dalton waiting. Dalton and RJ, unforgettable rivalry at the end of 2014 for the IWC title. Reprised here for a moment in time, and it's all Dalton exploding. Look out. Hard spill. That could certainly take Dalton out of this contest. Colin counters to a stunner.
Shades of Dragon Kid. Amazing counter.
Colin digging deep in the arsenal. Perhaps preparing to pull something out Tommy Dreamer hasn't seen from him. If he makes it that far. Well, you can see that faraway look in Colin's eyes. Not the place he needs to be.
He's going to have to dig down deep.
Oh, Dalton sees an opening. Colin, he knows he's going to get the worst end of that. He's on top of that tower. Smart move by Colin to fight this off.
Excellent observation.
And Dalton, that deadlift German. Colin's too far to interrupt. No, he got there. Oh, that's how Dalton won many an IWC title match. He pinned Luke Gallows. He pinned DJZ. But Colin interrupts that fall and now tries to pick up the scraps.
Colin just went from being in the worst position to the best position.
You can
He's
see
in control now.
That desperation on Colin's face. He beat Dreamer once. He has to do it twice to get back on top. But still so far away. The two best of IWC in 2014 stand in front of him. Dalton's body just stiffs up. Knocked loopy before he hit the ground. Was the party peacock. Now all three men showing the effects. The heart of a champion is who can dig down the deepest, who can sacrifice of themselves the most. You know it very well, Mr. Sydal. It's gut check time.
It's about who gets up.
And
it's any man's game now.
Now wait a second. LeBar just passed something. That's his shoe. LeBar just passed his shoe to RJ, who nailed Colin. Dalton got out of the way. German attempt again. God, LeBar, will he stoop to... What won't he stoop to? Pile driver? No. Wait, Dalton's got the pin. Dalton's got the pin. No.
I thought we had a new #1 contender right there. Excellent pinning combination.
RJ. Good night, everybody. RJ with the sleep priest got it in flush. And Dalton fading fast.
He's got that on tight.
Absolutely. RJ's weight over top of Dalton's. And Colin, the official, didn't see it. The official was with Dalton, but Colin snuck in with a low blow to RJ. And Colin trying to beat Dalton with RJ's move, but Dalton will roll up, he got him! Dalton avenges that title loss. And he moves on. Dalton moves on to meet the winner of Tommy Dreamer and Rhino coming up at a later date here in IWC. Check IWCWrestling.com for all the information. But Matt, talk to us about this Contenders match and talk to us how ready does Dalton Castle appear to get back on top.
I am very, very impressed, and I think whether it's Tommy Dreamer or Rhino, they're in for a treat when they go there against Dalton Castle, because he brings something special to the ring, and he proved it tonight. There's a point where all three men were down, and now there's one standing. There's your evidence right there. That kid could be a champion very soon.
Lamar and RJ irate, but they're the ones that introduced the shoe. They caused a lot of these problems. Dalton Castle, already former IWC champion, second longest in history. He could get there again, but what will the reaction be? The reciprocity of Colin Delaney and RJ City now that they realize they are out of title contention.
A special announcement for all of you here tonight. Meatville Zone, put your hands together for luscious Rookie Reynolds.
IWC has afforded me a couple minutes to be able to come out here, and like a lot of the guys in the back, since we were little kids, it's what we dreamt of, to come and stand in the center of a wrestling ring in front of a crowd. What makes it so much more special to me is that I'm standing in the wrestling ring in front of a crowd of people that have grown up knowing me since I was a little kid, that have followed me for the last 15 years in this professional wrestling business, and that is only 20 miles from my hometown of Titusville, Pennsylvania. And I'll tell you, back in the mid-90s, coming here and playing against the Meadville Bulldogs on your gridiron was always a battle, always. But as some of you guys know, some of you may not, and I'm letting everyone know it now, this is my final year in the professional wrestling business. Let me change that. This is my final year as an active wrestler in the professional wrestling business. And that is what makes it so hard, guys. It's not that I can't continue to go on. I got many more years I can keep going in this ring, and I love being in this ring. I want to continue in this ring. But let me just lay a little bit of mortality, maybe even maturity that's set in my mind. And this is the battle I'm going back and forth with on a daily basis right now, is that every day now, after 15 years, when I wake up out of bed, the back is quite stiff. I got to crack myself up straight. The knees click with every step I take. My neck needs cracked on a regular basis. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't trade a day of it for what I have done for the last 15 years. I absolutely love it. But here's the part that I have to get real about,
And this is what makes it so hard. You work since you're a little kid. You work so hard. You dream to do this. You dream to come out in front of your home crowds. I've got to do this for the last 4 years here and get to finally do what you love. And I love it. But reality has set in that I got these two little beautiful blonde girls at home that are 5 and 7. And now that I play the role of daddy, when I go outside and we're playing ball and I have to jab off to the left or jab to the right and the knees hurt and my back hurts, it sets a little reality and it makes you wonder, you know, if I don't see soon, in the next 10 to 20 years, my quality of life may be to the point where I can't walk them down the aisle if I stay in this too long. I love this business. I'm going to remain in the business. I just won't be an active wrestler after this year. So, just so you guys know, this year, August 22nd, we will still be at the Crawford County Fair, which we got the Honky Tonk Man coming in for that show also. I gotta make this 1 point clear. I'm going to continue to put that Crawford County Fair show on until the day I die, as long as the Crawford County Fair Board keeps bringing us back. So that show will continue. This will just be my last year wrestling there. And my final match was going to be set, the date soon, in my hometown of Titusville, Pennsylvania at the end of this year. And I hope that all you can make it in.
Rocky Reynolds, a hometown hero, addressing this crowd, unceremoniously interrupted by the Dead Wrestling Society. Brian Castle to my right, you know these men very well. They're all about misery and destruction.
They are seriously the most scariest people I've ever been in the ring with. Krimson will hurt you psychologically, physically, and he just does not stop. And his new monster, Warchild, the man's a beast. There's no other way to put it.
That's Aiden Vale with Krimson. We saw Krimson defeat Aiden Vale in Clearfield a month ago, abduct him after the match. We haven't seen Aiden since. What the hell did they do to this kid? Usually full of life, 80s rocker jumping around, loves having a good time, smile on his face, but
there is no emotion on that man's face. He is completely whitewashed.
Aiden Vale. And now they're surrounding Rocky Reynolds.
This is not going to be good, Joe.
A Crawford County native and legend who's announced to this crowd he's retiring later this year, and this is not the way Rocky Reynolds wants to go out, to say the least. This is disgusting.
They are just going to brutalize him. Someone's got to stop this.
It's all about robbing you of your moment. Krimson's life has been filled with misery. So too, he wants to spread that to every man, woman, and child he encounters. And this is only the beginning. Warchild, the former Bolin, ready to put the finishing touches, but here comes Asylum. Here comes John McChesney.
Thank goodness Asylum and John McChesney just showed up.
They'll encounter the DWS. It'll be Gangrel with Krimson. It'll be Kevin Nash with McChesney and Asylum. A little bit later on tonight, but looks like most of this match couldn't wait to get into a fight.
Meadville, do you want to see Asylum and John McChesney set the paper out their faces right now?
Looks like we've got a change in the lineup.
I've been coming here for the last 4 years. I've got a little meeting performance there on your side, and we're going to lay waste to these two jerk-offs right here. So how about tonight in the main event? Myself, Asylum, and one
Hey, do me a favor. Give me a farewell gift, all right? You guys in Nash, kick their ass.
Krimson rallies his troops together and saves the Ultimate War for later in the night. The former John Boland, and I guess the former Aiden Bale, Krimson's Dead Wrestling Society growing. But these men, along with Kevin Nash, hope to have an answer in our feature bout later tonight. The 280-pound war machine, Rhino, the last ever on record ECW, original ECW, World Heavyweight Champion. Last ever ECW World Television Champion, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Rhino has done a lot. Recent times, Rhino went down to NXT, the WWE subsidiary, and beat former IWC champion Logan Shulo, now known as Elias Sampson, and I believe under a minute. Does that send a message or what that Rhino wants to be IWC champion?
And now, ladies and gentlemen, to play the champion to the ring, the Delaney's.
Go to Pedro. Tommy Dreamer, played in by our good friend Ziggy Daniels and the Delaney's, doing Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell proud with their rendition of Man in the Box. But now the festivities have indeed ended, and this is the IWC Championship Encounter. I am Joe Dombrowski, joined by Mr. Brian Castle. And Castle, you'll provide some unique insight because I know you know both men quite well through your ring wars and traveling with Rhino as well over the years. And Matt Sydal and I talked about it a moment ago, but there is a tension in the air when Rhino and Dreamer have been around each other all afternoon.
You know, these men, they've had numerous wars against each other, and I'm blessed to call both of these men friends, but these guys are going to have a war. These guys are two violent men. All they want to do is win, and it is really all about the IWC heavyweight title.
And check out that stern handshake that Rhino and Dreamer share. Not a lot of love behind it, a lot of respect. But you don't have to like someone to necessarily respect them. And right now, certainly not a lot of like in that ring. Because really think about it, as we mentioned, Rhino the last ever singles champion, period, in the original ECW, but Tommy Dreamer gets the credit, sort of, gets the reputation for being the lifeblood, the conscience of the original ECW. I think each man really may be slighted by the other in the fact that they're both thought of maybe neck and neck in ECW lore.
Absolutely. I mean, Tommy Dreamer was the golden standard for ECW. He was there all throughout the company's history. Rhino came in like a house of fire. He won every belt that company had, and he just ran roughshod over the company. And I think Tommy doesn't like it, and I think Rhino doesn't like Tommy because people talk about Tommy when they talk about ECW and not the man-beast Rhino.
And a lot of people forget when Rhino was doing that, he was still in his early 20s. Rhino's still in the prime of his career, and certainly Dreamer, been around over 2 decades, but he hasn't slowed down in his own right.
Rhino is in the best shape I've ever seen him in, and I've known this man for years, and he has really focused himself on his career, and he is ready to do war and win at whatever cost it takes.
Dreamer explodes onto Rhino. Rhino, obviously, Rhino's biggest gift, his biggest advantage, his strength is that overwhelming momentum when he gets moving, such as for the gore. Rhino is 280, but he moves like someone half his size and connects with you with someone twice the impact, twice the mass.
He literally, with the gore, Rhino will run right through you and tear you in half with that gore.
Rhino is a physical anomaly in every sense of the word, and there you see the momentum serves against Rhino. Rhino crashes into the edge of that steel post that can dig into your shoulder, dig into your skin. That's not a rounded ring post like many rings.
I've seen many separated shoulders from taking that ring post, and it is not a pleasant injury.
And keep in mind, Brian, this is Extreme Rules. Anything goes. They can battle throughout the city of Meadville, and these two wouldn't have it any other way.
I'm just hoping they don't come over here, Joe.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty, that's an assumption I can agree with. But they're coming close. Look out. Those heavy barriers used to keep this capacity crowd in tow. New attendance record here in Meadville for IWC Professional Wrestling. I want to thank everybody for supporting us throughout these 4 years. And Dreamer, it's not a pretty sight, but digging in with that steel chain onto Rhino. Dreamer used that reset button in Reloaded in January to beat RJ City. We saw Dalton Castle become the #1 contender a moment ago. He'll meet the winner of this matchup at a later date. Assuming these men make it out of Meadville. I believe that was a trash can lid. And Dreamer's got some other toys in tow.
Tommy Dreamer's party is just getting started, and Rhino's in for a long night, if you ask me.
Hey, let's not act like Rhino doesn't thrive in this environment as well.
Well, he just proved it right there. He grabbed that wooden chair.
Yeah, Rhino knows where his surroundings are, and man, he connects right upside the face. And just like that, Tommy Dreamer has been shut down. Rhino's certainly looking to take the gore tour through Meadville. Defeating a former IWC champion, though, in under a minute's time, no matter where you've done it or what the circumstances, is a huge deal. And I cannot remember the last time that's happened anywhere in this industry.
I've seen all of his matches in NXT, and I don't think he's wrestled a full 5 minutes in there. And Rhino is just a man on a mission with what he's doing in NXT.
We saw Rhino in Impact Wrestling, hired by Ethan Carter III, former IWC star in his own right, before realigning with his Extreme Brethren. What was that? You never know what you're going to get from Tommy Dreamer. We're just getting started. Keep in mind, Dreamer was defeated in an Extreme Rules match by Colin Delaney. Some call it an upset. Colin doesn't. Oh, Dreamer back first. Dreamer's history of back problems well documented throughout his career. Rhino with a smart strategy finds a count of 2.
Those clotheslines, the forearms on Rhino are really, they're human sledgehammers. He hits you with those, you're going to feel it for the next couple of days. And he's got a cookie sheet.
Rhino's got arms like most legs and legs like most people. There you see a steel cookie sheet baking tray. Anything in Rhino's hand becomes that much more exponentially dangerous.
Absolutely, and I can't help but notice he keeps going to that damaged back of Tommy Dreamer there.
And now damaging the head. And certainly to your point, Rhino has always been on point, but he has really stepped up the aggression in recent months.
Rhino's intensity has increased tenfold in the past 2 years. Rhino just really wants to prove that he still has what
Rhino's
it takes.
got a child! He's got a child!
Why?
I don't want to know the answer to that. Rhino is a man possessed.
The referee doing the smart thing and not letting Rhino use that child as a weapon.
But you know what, Castle?
Or a snack.
It's Extreme Rules. That child's legal.
100%.
Rhino with the chair. Digging it into the throat, right in the larynx. Well, the IWC title, Rhino, will prove you're the man. But so many have tried to keep Tommy Dreamer down over the years. You can count on one hand how many succeeded. Oh, no. The drop toe hold. Dreamer did not hit the seat of the chair. He hit the back end of the chair. And that wooden surface just driven up into the jaw of Tommy Dreamer, who barely kicks out.
Oh. Rhino is unrelenting with that chair. He's willing to do whatever it takes to win this, and it's really showing right now. He is not stopping, and I don't think he can be stopped unless Tommy Dreamer starts to fight back.
Well, this chair is only going to serve to tick off Rhino more, and I think Dreamer's going to pay for it.
That's never good when they chant for that. When the fans chant for tables, that's never a good sign.
Rhino, hey, they better be careful. Rhino might come out into the crowd at this point. He almost did once.
I hope Rhino still looks at me as a friend and not a foe.
All he's seeing is red at this point. Maybe literally by the end of this match.
And he's got a table. Oh, no.
Oh, my.
Rhino has a table.
As if he wasn't dangerous, just on his own. Rhino with an implement of destruction, and we know, kendo stick, trying to break the arm of Dreamer. And again, you're seeing that bad blood that subliminally existed with these men for 15 years explode!
Tommy Dreamer just scored Rhino!
Shades of Rhino by Dreamer, got it! No! What a slap in the face it would be if Dreamer could beat Rhino with Rhino's own maneuver.
That's the ultimate insult in professional wrestling.
Dreamer checking his arm for any maybe bone breaking or skin breaking. Rhino did a number on him. Rhino props that table up, secures it. And no telling what we could see here. Both men have some heavy-duty artillery in their arsenal. Kendo stick. And the trash can to follow through. But Rhino not down. Dreamer signaling for the DDT. Rhino gore! Rhino hit the gore! Got him! No!
I thought Rhino won that.
Half a count away. And if you think Rhino can't do it, look at history. The Sandman, former IWC champion, Balls Mahoney, the Extreme Brethren have had great luck in IWC. A second gore, no! Oh, Dreamer sidestepped.
Dreamer sidestepping that really shows how much Dreamer knows Rhino and knows what's coming.
Dreamer looking to drive Rhino in. Dreamer fighting for his life at this point. Rhino has taken the momentum. Spicoli driver, no! And Rhino with a DDT, shades of Tommy Dreamer. This could do it, no. Man, the flagrant disrespect from both of these men is flowing.
This match is really a chess match between Rhino and Tommy Dreamer. They know each other so well. They fought numerous times, and they just want to prove that one is better than the other.
And their latest fight looks to be coming to an end. No! Dreamer counters the gore. Rhino through the table! Dreamer on top! Got her! We talked about Rhino's momentum. We talked about Rhino's momentum. It was his downfall. Here tonight, Dreamer propels Rhino into the table. And now Tommy looks ahead to Dalton Castle, the new #1 contender, as we celebrate with Olive Mill and the Delaney.
Introducing versus the challenger. He weighs in at 205 pounds, and he has a room in the streets at night, creeping while you're sleeping. The Neon Ninja, the Aerosol Assassin, Facade!
Super Indy Championship at stake here at IWC Night of Superstars 4 as we are set for the final encounter between the two men who have intersected with Super Indy for really the past year plus. Facade, a three-time Super Indy champion, a man who started training to be a professional wrestler because of watching early Super Indy title matches in the early 2000s. That title means more to Facade than we can convey, to the point where we really saw a transformation of Facade and his desperation to get that title back. Which Facade will we see tonight? We will soon find out as we meet the opponent.
And his opponent.
Andrew Palace is full of energy. He is full of spunk, the individual that came into his own last September, and just one night, he severed ties with the STD. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Palace, in one night, overcame his prior allegiance with the sexy, talented dudes, and on top of that, he absolutely made it a bigger statement, the exclamation point, when he beat Facade and Sammy Guevara. #1 contendership matchup. And you can see the prize that's at stake. Facade has held that title 3 times. He survived a four-way ladder war in late 2010, beat Sami Callihan, now known as Solomon Crowe, for reign number 2, survived a Super Indy against Anthony Nese for reign number 3. And again, we've seen these men, similar to Rhino and Dreamer, we've seen them as close friends, but we've seen that underlying disdain. We've seen that negative energy surrounding the championship implications that exist between these two men. And it's Facade starting out very tentatively and slowly, and talking about championship aspirations, someone that had them tonight, certainly still has them into the future. Colin Delaney, welcome to commentary.
That's right, better late than never.
A lot of people fashionably late here to commentary tonight. It's a big building, you get lost.
Is this for the Super Indy title?
This absolutely is, and this is the final ever encounter between Facade and Palace for that championship.
Okay, so that means a lot for Facade here. Yeah, Facade, former Super Indy champion, yes?
Thrice, 3 times.
3 times. 3 times the lady. Yeah, very important. Palace has kind of been thorn in his side a little bit. He's been the Achilles heel. He's been the mountain that Facade can't climb.
Yeah, Palace really a meteoric rise to the top of that division, and Facade has grown more frustrated than I've ever seen that he has not been able to figure Palace out.
I mean, you talk about this meteoric rise, and I'm not saying, I'm not trying to say anything bad about Andrew Palace.
Facade tried to go rotation on the head scissors. Palace tried to put the brakes on. Facade still snaps him over.
Huge head scissors by Facade. And once again, I'm not saying anything bad about Andrew Palace, but how many times has he wrestled Facade?
Well, in various incarnations. I believe this is their 3rd matchup for the championship.
Yeah, a lot.
Not counting their contenders matches before Facade or Palace were champion.
Right, so we could attribute this rise mostly to his ability to
Check out the next strength.
Woo! Take out Facade. Up onto the shoulder. Here we go, Andrew Palace.
Palace can feel the momentum, but Facade shuts him down.
Facade is a very difficult wrestler to plan for.
No kidding.
He has a very unorthodox style of offense, so going into a match with Facade is not like going into a match with anybody else.
Facade would grow up watching IWC wrestling events, and before he started training, the Super Indy matches are really what drew Facade to IWC, drew Facade to start training to be a professional wrestler. And this time period, we're talking about guys like AJ Styles, Colt Cabana, CM Punk, Christopher Daniels, of course, Super Hentai. All of these individuals who made Super Indy what it was and what it is today. Facade, it was such an honor for him to be able to stand in history among his heroes, but that came crashing down when Andrew Palace won that championship, and let's face it, won over a lot of the crowd support as well.
Right, and he has been, like I said, he's been the Achilles heel to Facade here as of late. I mean, if Facade doesn't win this one, a big roll-up.
2 count. And great adjustment by Facade with that momentum.
Exactly. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about.
Another cover, 2 and no, but to finish your point, Colin, it's do or die for Facade.
It's do or die for Facade for sure. And he does seem to be wrestling with that urgency tonight. But once again, that's the type of stuff I was talking about. You can't predict that when you kick out of a pin, he's immediately going to spring up and kick you in your face. You can't plan for that.
Boston Crab by Facade. Certainly there were a lot of situations that you, Colin, were unable to plan for in your 3-way matchup involving RJ City and Dalton Castle. Dalton, the official #1 contender. Where does Colin Delaney go from here quickly?
Who says that he's the official #1 contender?
Well, he did win the match, right or wrong?
Up for debate.
Okay. It's a story we'll pursue in the coming weeks, I'm sure.
Those kicks of Facade are lethal.
Facade gonna get out of steam and walks right up the body of Andrew Palace. Jeez. Palace waiting for him.
Springs over, he's got him scouted. That's what I'm talking about. That thing that you can't plan for that makes Facade so successful, Palace somehow is the person who's got it scouted, who's got it figured out a little bit.
And I think it's interesting, too, that this matchup, as Palace hits the neckbreaker, kind of on even turf.
Yeah.
We really don't have those long-standing, as Palace finds one on the cover, those long-standing Facade fans, the Andrew Palace fans, as Jimmy DeMarco once dubbed them, Palestinians. They're not necessarily here in droves as much as they normally would be, because this is a once-a-year event, and Meadville enjoys supporting IWC superstars really as much as they enjoy supporting the major superstars and legends that are here as well.
Huge John Woo dropkick puts Facade down and out, and here comes Palace. Big dropkick rocks Facade. Facade's in trouble.
Palace has proven that when he starts feeling it,
wow, though,
he's very, very tough to stop. Rocker dropper, nicely done.
You talk about even, but I don't know. That crowd was not as firmly behind Palace as usual, and I would say they are quite the opposite, actually.
That's an interesting point. The fans more familiar with Facade because of his high-profile matchups here in years prior. Saw Facade managed by Rowdy Roddy Piper one year. Big three-way dance a year ago.
And I mean, last time we were in Meadville, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew Palace not a fan favorite.
Correct.
So, and Facade probably was, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But you can't say that the crowd's confused.
No, I think they know what they see, they know what they like, and they weren't there for the rise of Andrew Palace. They may not understand how much this kid's grown up.
No, and they do seem to like Facade here.
And there's a lot to like about Facade. He's very energetic, he's explosive, he's entertaining, he can matrix like that.
He's got a huge following. And once again, the unorthodox offense of Facade floors Palace. This could be Facade's night. This needs to be Facade's night.
Well, I'll tell you what, Facade has proven this title's more important to him than life itself. And we've seen him, in my estimation, make a lot of mistakes to try to get back there. And it may come down to composure and consistency.
Listen, his composure seems exactly where it needs to be. Oh! Huge flip to the floor by Facade. He's feeling these people tonight. This Meadville crowd could be exactly the advantage, exactly the circumstance that Facade needs to get over the hump with Andrew Palace.
Facade throwing caution to the wind as he often does.
High risk, high reward, though.
Only one man has been a four-time Super Indy champion, two men, I do believe.
This crowd is absolutely on Facade's side.
Facade could be number 3, walks the ropes, connects right to the face.
Big kick, and Palace is down. Palace is down and could be out. This could be it.
Got him.
Palace is lucky. Facade doesn't know what to do. Now, Facade can't get frustrated.
That's a great point. We've seen it many times. Facade throw some fair share of tantrums in his day, but not here tonight.
Here's the thing. He's got the crowd on his side. Those tantrums may not happen if he's got these people's support, and it seems like he's got it. This could be what he needs to get over the hump with Andrew Palace.
That's really a great point. And we're seeing that resolve, that classic Facade coming out.
Ooh! He caught the top of his head, whiplashed his neck back.
His mouth may have bounced off of that rope as well. Hernia driver, says Palace. No counter.
Full package.
Palace didn't see it coming. Oh.
I thought that was it. I thought he had him.
How close can you get? Roll up
Got him
now.
again. He's got to strike while the iron's hot. He's got to go now.
And Palace, back of the clothesline. Backslide, driving with the legs. Can he get enough? No.
Driving with the legs. Needs to hook the arms a little tighter. Like I said, striking while the iron's hot. No! Palace! Stops momentum.
Got him. No! Even Palace is shocked. And some of these fans are upset that Palace straight up out-wrestled Facade. And through all that controversy, through all that confusion, Andrew Palace, a game of inches, a game of leverage, was the better man tonight.
Yeah, these people do not seem happy with the result of that one.
Now, normally we would say on any other day, Facade may have gotten the win, but how we know, anytime soon there will be no other day for Facade in the Super Indy title picture.
Well, at least not as long as Palace still holds on to it.
We saw some Tensions build throughout the end of 2014. A handshake at the end of their ladder match. Tensions resumed thanks to the involvement of Krimson at Reloaded, making a dubious end to their battle there. How will we end this, the final battle? Facade doesn't have to like it, but there comes a time when you accept it. Not every day will I be the last man with my hand raised, and you can sense a heavy heart and see a tear glistening in the eye of Facade as he realizes his dream temporarily on hold.
Shows sportsmanship, though, by Facade. Comes a point where you got to know you've been bested.
Facade did not win the championship, but tonight he grew up and showed he truly does have the makings of a champion. Andrew Palace continues on, the head of the Super 80 division. Time for a first-time ever dream match between two internationally traveled cruiserweight stars. Let's get the introduction. Young go-hard DJZ, formerly known as Shima Zion, the only man to not just be an IWC Triple Crown champion, that's the IWC Heavyweight title, the tag title, Super Indy title, he held both twice.
That is not how you introduce DJZ. Let me show you how it's done.
Oh no.
You are now in the mix with that young go-hard DJZ.
It was not necessary.
When are you going to introduce me?
I was going to wait till the bell because you're a big star and you were going to distract everybody. This is Mark Madden, by the way.
Not unreasonable on your part.
He weighs in at 170 pounds.
Formerly known as Evan Bourne, Mr. Airborne himself, former WWE Tag Team Champion with Kofi Kingston. Matt Sydal was out of action for over a year, shattered his foot in 9 different places in a car accident. But Matt Sydal is now found his center. A lot of yoga, a lot of meditation, and he's now reborn and back as his previous identity, Matt Sydal.
I'm looking forward a great deal to this match, Joe. It is Joe, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just think these are the two best guys, certainly two of the best outside WWE. They have very similar styles, fast-paced yet physical, a lot of stuff off the top rope, so can't wait to see it.
It is going to be Airborne versus the Air Horn of DJZ.
If you made me pick who I think's a better performer right now, I'd go with DJZ because of the residue from the car wreck. Nothing lingering physically that we know of, but still DJZ, a lot of work behind him in the past year. I think Matt Sydal has to catch up.
We know Matt Sydal has also been bothered by a neck injury. He recently was not competing in 2 Ring of Honor events I had the privilege of being at in Chicago Ridge and Milwaukee. I had Sydal ringside with me, but not cleared to compete. Obviously is here tonight, though.
Yeah, Sydal just a brilliant performer. Like I said, it's a bit catch-up time for him. Maybe he can make up some ground tonight against DJZ.
DJZ on his home turf, trained here in IWC. Been wrestling here since age 18.
Well, as I said, you don't find a better matchup in this in IWC, on the independent circuit, Ring of Honor, TNA. This is as good as it gets.
Yeah, Zima, a former TNA X Division champion. Sydal, certainly one of the most famous cruiserweight stars throughout the world, former Ring of Honor tag team champion as well, with Christopher Daniels, I do believe.
Did you know when DJZ was X Division champion, he was offered an alternative? Witness protection.
See. Moving on from that. But DJZ...
That's no knock on him, Joe. That's a knock on... Well, it's no knock on him.
DJZ has had some great matches here in this building in Meadville. I believe it was the 2011 match of the year for IWC when DJZ went one-on-one with Chavo Guerrero Jr.
Well, again, Joe, sarcasm permeates my every breath.
No.
But these two guys are great. They're absolutely two of the best performers on the wrestling scene anywhere. And even though they're not in WWE, that includes WWE. Reminds me very much of the great cruiserweight matchups we had back in the glory days of WCW.
Very true. Although DJZ a little protective of his prized headphones. DJZ is a famous DJ. In actuality, that's not a publicity stunt. It's not a marketing ploy. Very famous in the Chicago area, out into Las Vegas. DJZ's always the life of the party, no matter where he goes. He's just in California.
I just returned from Las Vegas. A lot of my money did not.
You were taking that gambling advice from Mr. Thursday Afternoon, weren't you?
Never a good idea.
Well, Sydal getting a little bit perturbed at DJZ's stalling tactics.
A little Larry Legend time. Larry Land, the stall.
Well,
Hall of Famer Larry Zbyszko.
Yes, for over 30 glorious years he did it.
He stalled for 19 of them.
Well, Sydal goes behind on DJZ. DJZ, of course, the sidekick of the Bromans, Robbie and Jesse. Sydal, current tag partner of ACH and Ring of Honor.
I'll be blunt, I think DJZ is the best part of that act in TNA, by far.
I would not disagree with you. Great jump up into the Hurricane Rana. Sydal showing no lapse of confidence. DJZ in trouble.
First off, you better start calling that a Frankensteiner, or Scott Steiner's picture will be at the entrance gate for your Hall of Fame induction, too.
He was here last year. He didn't seem in a good mood then either.
He's a teddy bear.
And Sydal's got the DJZ earphones.
The man makes his living with those. Do the decent thing and give the headset back.
Leave it to you to side with the DJ, huh?
I don't even have a headset now. You guys can't afford it. You have the only set.
And that's new this week. DJZ begging Sydal not to damage the headphones.
I believe DJZ would have a nailed-on lawsuit. That's a little scurrilous there. That's a little shady by Matt Sydal.
He did not damage the headphones, though.
Well, you got me there, Joe.
Mark that one down. It won't happen often. Sydal into the buckle. What do you think of that hair of DJZ? Oh, geez, Sydal got snapped on that ring post.
A very quick match. Matt Sydal might be a bit the worse for wear after that cheap shot by DJZ, but he's moving well in the ring. DJZ is always moving well. This has the potential to be epic, classic.
And I made this point earlier in the night, but those ring posts are not rounded. There are sharp steel edges that Sydal was just driven into.
Well, I think he might have a lawsuit, Joe.
You're so frivolous with these lawsuits. What's going on with you?
Got to make that money.
I don't think you have that problem.
You could always use more money.
I guess after Las Vegas, maybe. DJZ controlling Sydal. Sydal last seen here in IWC, I believe 2007, Super Indy 6, Super Indy Tournament, 2-0.
One of the great stars who has made the Super Indy Tournament such an independent must-see each and every year.
Sydal beat Petey Williams before falling to Delirious. Super Indy 5, I'll correct myself.
Is someone in your headset correcting you, Joe? Because that happened to me all the time.
No, there's no one yelling at me. I don't think Plumber even knows I'm here. I think even more people don't even know you're here. You just show up.
I'm Nash's chauffeur, and not for the first time.
Sydal kicking his way free from the grasp of DJZ. who digs into the eyes. Is there extra pressure for DJZ being on his home turf right now?
I think he's the favorite in this match.
Great
Matt
counter.
Sydal powering out of that, countering out rather.
Yeah, using those knees to his advantage. Sydal very flexible, very nimble.
I think DJZ being on his home turf, being a guy who's not been hurt, comes into the match with no question about that. I think he's favored, and with being the favorite comes a certain amount of pressure.
And Sydal, at home on top, drives the knees down. This could do it. Hook of the leg, 2-0.
What an electrifying performer Matt Sydal is. The minute he takes one step on the turnbuckle to go to the top rope, the crowd buzzing from that second till the completion of the move.
He's so fluid, he's so seamless. He can snap things off not just with the grace, but with the accuracy and the impact second to none.
No question, no question. One thing he needs to
roll
do...
Roll up, 2-0.
He wastes a little time between offensive moves sometimes. You got to move in quick when you have the edge. Like he did there.
Beautiful standing moonsault. Got him here. No. Sydal, half a count away. You can see the frustration beginning to form in the face of Matt Sydal.
Didn't quite hit that as heavy as he could have. A little bit of light showing when he hit, not quite square.
That could be DJZ's one advantage. This is a game of inches. Caught him with the inverted atomic drop. Elevates Sydal, drives him back down on the feet. This could do it. Air hook of the leg. No.
I think DJZ has a slight strength advantage, but I don't know if he can utilize that. He's not used to wrestling that kind of a match, Joe.
That's a fair point. Zima looking better than he ever has.
Oh, when it comes to physique, this guy's in the top 5 anywhere in wrestling.
Up to about 190 pounds of, as he would call it, pure smut.
Pure what?
Pure smut.
That's weird.
He's a weird guy. Look at his hair. Look at his pants. They've been halfway down his body the half of the match. Sydal.
That's what the kids do these days, Joe.
Kids these days.
Face full of stuff! Face full of stuff! Sorry, couldn't resist.
Slightly different compared to years prior. And now it's time for Air Sydal. That shooting star press. Oh, he got him. Matt Sydal is reborn and victorious.
Electrifying match. Matt Sydal, a brilliant performance. DJZ gave it everything he had. It still wasn't enough. Matt Sydal, I think it's safe to say, is all the way back.
Sydal is 100% his first IWC appearance in nearly a decade. Hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of this guy. And, well, got the headphones.
Well, now this is just unfair.
Sydal tried him on for size, thought better of it. Maybe not in his fashion department. Sydal victorious, though.
A great win for him. I hope we see him back in IWC real soon.
And coming up is our main event, 6-man tag, moments away.
He just did a selfie with Justin Bieber's twin.
Sure, Joe Dombrowski, Mark Madden with you once again for an explosive 6-man tag team matchup that almost boiled over earlier on in the night.
I can't believe John McChesney's the proverbial good guy now. I missed like one IWC show and he's suddenly beloved.
And these men we're about to see are the antithesis of beloved. There you see the embodiment of evil, Krimson. There is Warchild, seconding them, the former Aiden Vale, who was abducted by Krimson some weeks ago. We haven't seen him since.
Now, he doesn't look abducted to me. He looks like a willing participant.
Well, I think he's been perhaps tortured, brainwashed, forced into willingness, because this is not the same guy we saw a few weeks ago. Totally different demeanor.
So it's like Scientology.
Well, only this is happening, actually. I mean, Warchild, formerly known as John Bolin, Scott Demore trainee, been in this company 10 years.
And I'm a big fan of John Bolin.
Krimson got to him.
Warchild, whatever persona he assumes, he's got the look, the size, the rap. I smell money, a great performer.
The gothic lifestyle of Gangrel was one of the most memorable parts of the Attitude Era in the late 90s, of course, along with the Brood, Edge, and Christian. Who could forget that golden chalice with the red viscous liquid?
And what an ideal partner for these guys. What a great get to bring in and help them fight this battle.
Here we go. Gangrel, also known as the Vampire Warrior in some circles, as dark as they come, and with Krimson at the helm, it can only get worse from here.
Now, what's your call, Joe? Who's the strength of this team? Who's the match winner?
Well, the strength is absolutely Warchild. We've seen John Bolin show amazing power in his prior identity. With Krimson's hatred in his head and his heart, there's no telling what he's capable of. And it is a six-man tag, but notice, 4 Dead Wrestling Society members out here. After John McChesney was given that gift of the IWC Physical Championship belt that he had held for 2 years, after he had that matchup with Matt Hardy, and Matt told him, you have all it takes, you just don't have the right allegiances, i.e. Justin Lamar, we've seen a major change of heart from John McChesney for the better.
Well, no matter what side of the street John McChesney walks, he is what he says he is. Big league, a top performer for many, many years here at IWC, and I see him as his team's difference maker, well, until the 6'11 guy shows up.
And here comes Asylum, jumpstarts this matchup. Again, 4 DWS in the ring, and Asylum, McChesney flies in. Asylum injured by Warchild and Krimson some weeks ago at a non-IWC live event. He couldn't wait for retribution.
And it's 2-on-4 right now.
And Asylum, the person too aggressive for rugby, finds himself in major problems.
See, I thought when Asylum got in there and jump-started, oh, hold the phone!
That can only mean one thing. And Double M, notice the t-shirt, Kevin Nash, full-fledged member of Team Big League tonight.
No doubt on that, and I'm telling you, Kevin Nash is in great shape. One of the featured stars of the movie Magic Mike 2 coming out this summer. He had to train hard to reprise his role as Tarzan, and he is ready to go tonight. You'll notice that 6'11 guy will really clear the ring, won't he?
Yeah, no kidding. 2 weeks ago, Kevin Nash enshrined in the WWE Hall of Fame, but not going to slow him down a bit.
And I couldn't be happier. I mean, here's a guy, a great performer in WWE, is Diesel, the world champ, and revolutionized wrestling as part of the NWO invasion. I hope at some point the entire NWO gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, because the closest WWE ever came to being a clear-cut number 2 for an appreciable amount of time, maybe even in danger of going out of business, it was because of this guy, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall.
But will Kevin Nash put the Dead Wrestling Society out of business?
I've just been handed directions out of here for after the show, John, because I will be taking Kevin Nash to his hotel near the Pittsburgh airport, and if I get lost, he will yell at me.
So you're like the Virgil to his DiBiase.
Something like that, yes.
I enjoyed the disgust on your faces. I named up Virgil. Be that as it may, Asylum distracted, and there you see classic DWS.
They are a force to be reckoned with. They can match power for power, and boy, they're dedicated to the cause.
Krimson is brooding. He is evil. Krimson watched as all of his friends moved on to bigger opportunities in wrestling, watched as his personal life fell apart thanks to wrestling, and that's where this evil began to manifest from.
Hey, everybody's personal life falls apart thanks to wrestling, Joe. He just found a way to get some good out of it.
Channeled that aggression for sure. And what an amazing transformation between the John Bolin you and I have known for 10 years.
I like this John Bolin. I think he's got it going on. I think when what you've been doing doesn't quite get you to where you want to go, and John Bolin's had a lot of success, but you got to find a way to manufacture a new kind of energy, a different kind of energy. I think John Bolin's better than ever, although he's taking a bit of a beating right now.
That Warchild was responsible for the injury to Asylum some weeks ago. This is a collision I've personally been looking forward to. Two men very evenly matched.
Asylum's looking good so far. He has seized a decided advantage against the guy who can match him for power, who can match him for acumen, who can match him in every way. Here comes Big Sexy.
And Nash goes to work. His IWC debut.
Kevin Nash has 4 moves, Joe, and all of them hurt.
Now, with Kevin Nash, the simplest things can do the most damage. And when the Dead Wrestling Society picked a fight with Asylum and McChesney, I'm sure they never fathomed, hey, come on!
Well, I mean, how else are you going to stop him?
Vale gets involved. And the tides have been turned. Warchild on top. Warchild can pin Kevin Nash here. That'd be a huge headline.
It takes a bit more than that. A bit more than that.
Well, credit to DWS for getting Nash off his feet in a defensive position. Also, unfamiliar territory for Kevin Nash. And again, Bale getting involved.
Now, see, the referee being played here, it's too easy. The referee got to do a better job than that.
Certainly easy to make that claim from here, but when you got 6, really 7 combustible elements out there.
I'd be the worst referee ever. I freely admit that.
Krimson with a knee. We got the best in the area. Bobby Williams in there.
Krimson looking good, taking an aggressive stance with Nash.
Has that neck crimped. All of his body weight over top of Nash. Nash has to get to his feet to get the leverage back on his side.
And a 6'11" guy is always going to get that leverage back. Always.
Well, Nash does at this point. Oh, here we go. Huge side slam. Krimson bowed up in pain.
Yeah, but that took a little bit out of Kev, too. That was a rally for the 6'11" big man. But I give DWS a lot of credit because if you were in there with Nash, you'd play dump and chase. You'd try to get the shift over with to get the next guy out there to face. They're taking it right to Nash, but Nash now with the tag.
Not even Degeneration X made Nash look like that a couple of weeks ago at WrestleMania, but now it's Gangrel and John McChesney one-on-one. And it's all big league at the moment. Statistically, the greatest star, the greatest champion in IWC history with a pinpoint picture-perfect dropkick.
Oh, what a suplex. He is all over Gangrel. Gangrel, though, a shot to the ribs from a prone position. Some good defense there, and now it goes outside the ring.
Yeah, Gangrel as tough as they come as well. We've seen him in many hardcore wars over the years. And you see Gangrel lands back of the head on this thinly, not even really protected, covered floor.
Well, I'll tell you, McChesney may be cheered by the fans now, but to me, he's wrestling exactly the same way, and I like it. That's what breeds excellence, consistency.
Warchild looking to breed some punishment.
Oh!
Great rotation on that.
Look at the power on Warchild.
Gangrel cover. Yeah, certainly, we always saw those great star credentials in John McChesney, but really it was that strength in numbers, that team big league, and of course that relationship with Justin LaBar that really held McChesney back from showing what he's truly capable of in the opinion of many.
Well, now's his chance to prove it. Now's his chance to prove the people who thought he should be a fan favorite correct. I just sounded like Bill Apter.
We saw, as long as you don't say rule breaker, we saw John McChesney defeat Joseph Brooks, formerly of Team Big League, in a steel cage in Clearfield.
One thing you got to say about McChesney, he's never, ever backed on. Ah, boy.
A tree of woe. Somewhere Kevin Sullivan is smiling.
That was quite a unique variation to pull the neck backwards from outside the ring. I bet that hurt a lot.
Absolutely. And Warchild had a lot of hair to work with on that exchange. Like a vulture. Connects with the spirit. This could do it. I've never seen Warchild this focused, this aggressive. Mix it up with Asylum.
Warchild and Krimson, they might have the faces painted. They might have the dark attitude, but they can go. They can go. They're having a great match so far, and here comes Gangrel.
That's what makes them all so dangerous. And they're motivated by misery and pain. They don't really particularly care about championships or win-loss records.
That's the way to go. That's how I live my life.
Oh, Gangrel went for that impaler. McChesney countered, but Gangrel quick to adjust. There's that power drive elbow. Cover to almost Muda-esque by Gangrel.
It's tough to pick a winner right now, Joe, because you look at what everybody's done so far in the match. Ain't no weak link. Ain't nobody letting their team down in the least little bit. Boy, if I'd come up with gems like that back when, I might still be working in the big time.
But I'll tell you what, for the men in the ring, this is as big as it gets. IWC Wrestling, Meadville Night of Superstars. For Krimson, all about a chance to send a message at the expense of the greatest perhaps in IWC history, and one of the greatest of all time as well, Kevin Nash.
They're starting to cut off the ring on McChesney, though, and as accomplished as he is, you can only take so much so long, and right now, boy, you can see the stuffing coming out of him.
McChesney got the elbow up, desperation counter. Oh, Krimson has him trapped. Listen to this impact. Oh! Jeez. The back of McChesney's head bounced off the canvas. What a violent, violent landing for two.
Yeah, there's some whiplash effect there. Sometimes it's not the blow, but it's the way the guy lands after he takes it.
And to your point earlier, McChesney closer and closer to Dead Wrestling Society territory.
Yeah, you just get pulled into that web. It's like quicksand. I'm mixing my metaphors here, but the more you struggle, it's tougher to get out. And they've kept him so isolated, there's not even been the chance for Asylum or Nash to, catch somebody as they wander close and try to relieve the pressure even for a second.
You gotta wonder if the DWS has its intentions of having a member of Team Big League as McChesney counters into their fold. McChesney with a chance here, but man, questionable moves to take that big of a risk when you're certainly have that many cobwebs to clear.
Yeah, and I wouldn't headbutt somebody after I've been taking a beat. I don't know if that's going to help you out in the long run.
Missile drop kick, nicely done. And this could be a turning point in this matchup. Could be do or die for Team Big League.
Boy, what a battler McChesney is. Sometimes the talented ones don't work hard. He's talented and gives max effort.
And here we go, Warchild and Asylum. And Asylum getting some retribution for that assault. Let's him think about it. Staggering power, Asylum. Almost shades of the old John Bolin meltdown. Not sure if Warchild has that in his arsenal. But either way, message received, that ticked him off.
Oh! How about the impact on that elbow, Joe?
Oh, yeah. When you run into Warchild, it feels like Warchild ran into you. And Asylum, trapped here. Asylum's been in IWC for over a year. I've never seen anyone manhandle Asylum like Warchild.
trading blows, the power evident. I'm not sure this is a good idea for either man, Joe.
Who's going to budge? Warchild got the knee up. Tough to see where it connected, but Asylum responds in kind. But a Dr. Bomb action. Could happen. Asylum. Asylum has pinned Warchild.
Wow. What a burst of power and energy. And this is a make it big night for Asylum, Joe.
We looked at McChesney and Nash as big game players, but we kind of forgot about Asylum. What? Aiden Vale back in the ring. He's caused us problems.
This isn't a good idea.
Famous last words, perhaps, for Aiden Vale.
And might I add, the Dead Wrestler Society left them out there.
Vale is all alone and the straps come down.
This is like Magic Mike 3.
Jackknife!
Joe, you can leave them wanting more, or you can leave them weighing. Kevin Nash chose the latter.
The Dead Wrestling Society had a path of destruction throughout the year thus far, but McChesney reaches deep into that contacts list. Not just Asylum, but big sexy Kevin Nash. Certainly a major blow to the momentum of the DWS, but the question you have to ask, you know Krimson's not going to go away. Kevin Nash won't be here next month. Krimson may. How will he respond?
Well, no, like you said, the Dead Wrestler Society ain't in it for titles. I'm not even sure they're concerned about wins and losses. They just want to punish, they just want to hurt, and they are not going away.
Another new member of Team Big League celebrating with John McChesney, Asylum, and Kevin Nash. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a festive atmosphere, as it always is in Meadville. Night of Superstars 4. For Mark Madden, Matt Sydal, all the other colleagues throughout the night, this is Joe Dabrowski. We'll see you next time on IWC DVD.